Heard they wanna stop the party. Well, tell her we gon' party. Few shots got her horny. The way that she move got me horny. And that is the Lord Bread. You'll find him on Instagram and Clubhouse. He's an amazing, amazing artist and talent, and we just love his music. Tonight, we have an amazing lineup. We have Meredith Golden, who is an amazing dating expert, and we're going to get into more about who she is and what she does. She's been in The Times, she's been on Access, she's been on Today. You've seen her, trust me. If not, you're about to. And we have Kairi Jeffries of Rawtrition stopping by. He's going to talk a little bit about his product. So we have Camille 212 Connections, and we're excited to have her on. And we have, I know, right? Our resident doctor, Brian Rapetsky, who is he's a psychologist and a sexologist, and he's going to be here with some tips for you and your relationships. So stay tuned, and we will be right back.
The founder of Blue Tree Coaching. I am a life coach who specializes in managing your mind to create better and different results in your life. There are 5 branches of my Blue Tree Coaching model. They are mindfulness, clarity, compassion, action, and achievement. And each one of these are essential ingredients to your growth, whether you are looking to grow in a personal, physical, relationship, financial, professional way. The Blue Tree Coaching model can get you where you're looking to go.
And I am doing this by myself tonight, so you guys have to bear with me. I have no team, but as you know, we've just been picked up by another network, and we'll be available to view on Apple TV in the very near future. And we're excited about that. And I have a permanent engineer, which is going to be great. I'm so looking forward to that. It's going to make my day. So without further ado, I want to tell you about Meredith Golden, Spoon Meets Spoon. I love that name. And she is a dating app ghostwriter. She's a dating coach and a dating expert. Her background is a master's degree in social work. She's a former psychotherapist. You've seen her in the New York Times. You've seen her in the Times, the British Times. I love British publications. We did Glamour. Access, GMA, Today, just so many places. And she's stopping by to tell us all about her protocols, her programs, and how you can find out more about her and how wonderful they are. We think they are anyway, and I know you will too. Hi, Meredith.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Of course.
So, tell us all about you. Tell us something you want people to know about you.
Oh, about me. That dating is my favorite topic.
Oh, good.
Despite that I'm married.
Yes?
Yeah, happily married for a really long time. Mom of 2 fun, active, engaging boys. And I talk about dating all day long. And I truly love it. And I love my work and I love helping people.
What was the impetus? Because I know I come from the mental health arena myself, and crossing into dating wasn't that common a couple of years ago. I think it's becoming more common. Certainly there was relationship counseling, but getting into dating per se. What was the impetus for your segue, or what was your segue?
People often confuse dating and relationships and think of them in the same bucket. They're really very different. Dating is what happens first, and then you sort of move along, and then it evolves, and then it can, turn into a relationship, or it doesn't. But 2 separate things. I was really just doing this for friends, always setting people up, always giving advice, and was really trying to figure out what I could do that made me happy. And it was a very easy next step, which is do what I do that I love to do, and see if I can make it into a business. And that's exactly what happened. And I got really fortunate, and it was a success. And, here I am still doing what I love and helping people make very small changes to yield big results in dating. And what happens, I find, in dating is no matter how smart someone is, people tend to get mired in emotion and have trouble making clear decisions. And it's hard to exercise good judgment when you can't see things clearly. And there's nothing wrong with someone. It's just that it's hard to make a good choice. And when people have firm rules in front of them, which I often provide, there's no thinking involved because they have the list in front of them. Oh, this happened, drop down menu. I can do A, B, or C. Meredith says always choose B. Boom, choice is B. Move forward to the next step. And it's easy. It's easy to date and be happy and have a great experience if you are not, so stuck in it emotionally, which is hard to do for a lot of people.
Yes,
it can be easier said than done.
Yes, it's much easier said than done. I have a protocol, date therapy, which is mind body, and it helps people to, a lot of it's socialized anxiety that people will come in and they're presenting with. But just self-confidence also, so it is very interesting in how different dating and the actual relationship are, and they are two very separate things. They're phases.
They're phases.
Right. So,
and you mentioned sort of social anxiety. People will come to me and they'll say, oh, but I have that extra drink because it takes the edge off. And I'm like, you know what? That extra drink makes you sloppy.
Yeah.
And then there's no exercising good judgment. And it's not getting you to where you want to be in a position to have an opportunity. And the truth is, by the time you go through 7, 8, 9, 10 dates, there is desensitization, as you know, and that anxiety eventually dissipates and it is replaced with confidence. And whatever was making someone feel yuck or unhappy or unpleasant about that date one, by the time they get to 9, 10, 11, that's history. They got it, and they don't need that extra drink that's sabotaging them.
Yeah. Well, I actually cue them to use the OK sign in the somnambulistic state. But I cue them so that when they're nervous, they can just push their fingers, or they can do a breathing exercise, breathing through the left nostril. And you can actually do that by just covering up or sitting at the table. Right. Like, you can even do it in the boardroom. No one will really know what you're doing. And don't wear glasses or they'll be all over the place. But and that just helps, and it replaces the need for booze. Do you have any tips that you give to replace the need for some self-destructive behaviors?
Oh, I have so many tips. But the first one is, be your authentic self, and that has a lot of value, and it will take someone far. But within that, there's a code of appropriate behavior. And sort of, if you wouldn't do it on a job interview, don't do it on a first date. Don't do it on a second date. Wouldn't say something to the neighbor, across the hall that you don't know. It's, you are exercising the same set of manners on a date. Not everything's going to work out, and that's okay. You're in it to interview and to assess and see how someone treats you and how you feel engaging with someone. It's not all about them deciding if you're good enough. You already know you're good enough. Just, put lots of balls in the air, meet a ton of people, have fun. Eventually, it does work out.
It will.
Yeah.
Oh, that's such good advice. I bet you everyone wishes they had it. So tell me, how much fun is it to write a profile? Because I know you're the profile queen.
I am, and I love it, and I write a ton of them. It is fun for me. I am in the minority. I think it stresses most people out.
Yeah, I'm going to send some people your way.
Yeah, it's sort of like the first time you do something, there's a learning curve. By the time you've done it 5,000 times, I have the same conversations with people all the time. They're like, well, why can't I put the picture of the dog licking my nose? I'm like, because you're only as attractive as your least attractive photo. And photo number 1 sold you. Photo number 2 sold you. This one, it kills you. But in terms of, profile, people sometimes think that what goes in the bio, that, they're selling themselves, great friend, loyal, funny. That is not what a bio is for. A description is to give someone information for a topic for conversation. So you really want to present at least 5 opportunities for someone to ask you something. So less is more. If you meditate, literally meditation. So someone could say, oh, what kind of meditation practice do you have? How often do you meditate? When did you start meditating? There's your exchange. It's easy. No one has to think about it. You're not having deep philosophical conversations on a dating app. You're not dating and getting to know someone on a dating app. You are connecting enough on a dating app to decide if you want to advance to a video chat, doing, a 15, 20, 25-minute video chat. If you have a good enough time, then maybe meet someone in person. And that's where you're dating, but you're not dating on a dating app, despite that it's called a dating app.
It's very deceptive, and it kind of gets back to what we were talking about in terms of phases of relationship, the spectrum. So there are phases in this, and I think it's fantastic that you say no dog kissing. I'm curious to ask you why.
Well, some people actually look cute kissing their dog, and that is fine. But when someone's in that weird angle, and all of a sudden, like, they just don't even look like themselves because they're stretched in a funny way, and the dog is blocking their face, or they're up, and then the dog is showing their nasal hair. It's just not attractive, or someone could be so good looking or look great and put themselves in the best light, but then they're, shoving a big piece of cake in their mouth. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
You have to present yourself in the way that you look good. I've never seen anyone look great in a bike helmet, or like mounting a bike, or in the ski picture with the boogers coming out of their nose. That's not the best picture. Doesn't mean that they're not attractive. It just means you put your best foot forward.
Right. Yeah. Because you want that swipe. You want them to come to you.
It is that first picture that gets you the swipe right.
Yeah, that's amazing. So tell us how your coaching protocol goes, because I know you do a lot of coaching.
I do a ton of coaching. It's sort of like CBT for, dating boot camp, essentially. I'm really direct. We're not ever having a 45-minute conversation about, why they keep going out with someone. I'm blunt. Listen, did you enjoy yourself? Yes or no, right? If the answer is no, well, okay, we're done here. Did you feel good? Did you feel like you could be yourself? If the answer is no, well, then why are you going to keep doing this? It doesn't even matter whether or not he or she likes you because you didn't enjoy them. You got to move on. And, you've got 4 other dates lined up. And I promise you, by the time you get to the second date this week, you're not going to be thinking about this person anymore. And by the time they do it, 2-3 times, Meredith, you were right. I'm like, I know, of course.
I know.
But, it's just sort of people need a push and to not get stuck in behaviors and patterns. And that's a lot of what I do. Or, I think feedback is a really valuable tool.
Yeah.
And I think feedback helps us in our work, in health, exercise, feedback from a scale, whatever it is. Anything dating is the same way. And when we rely on feedback from friends and family about how we're dating when they're not there, it's not accurate. And I actually created a dating app called dharmadating, DARMA. And it's all about getting kind, constructive, confidential, it's all private feedback from your past dates. It's a drop-down menu. And so no one can say anything mean, but it's really stuff that's constructive and easy tweak. So if you're late to a date and you're showing up for a dating app date and you're 20 minutes late, you're probably not going to get another date, especially if you didn't text the person to let them know. People don't realize that if they're oversharing, if they're drinking too much, if they're on their phone the whole time, if they're bashing their, friends and family or speaking negatively about work, that it's not pleasant, but it's sort of stuff that they just routinely do. And if you hear from someone, you bashed your family and you think, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that on the next date, right? If you hear something from 3 people, it can be reliable and it's valid. Now, you don't have to take that information and hold it as the end all be all, but you have feedback and you can make different choices if you like with it. But people just need to hear what it is that they're doing in a way that they don't think of so that they can make different choices to go forward.
That's true. Now, I know you're a dating expert, and that's been a big chunk of your media, if I'm not mistaken. I'm assuming.
Yes, of course.
A big chunk of mine. I wonder, what are a couple of tips that you would give people that you find that are the most common tips that you have to give? Not talking about dharma dating per se, but talking about coming from you.
Yeah, just
Meredith.
don't be an eager beaver.
Okay.
Patience. So, someone has a script in their head of how it's supposed to play out. And if it doesn't play out that way, there's all this maladaptive behavior. It doesn't get them anywhere. Just because he or she didn't respond exactly how you had planned them to respond doesn't mean that it's still not a good opportunity. It doesn't mean that they can't still be in action or that it doesn't have the potential to go somewhere. What it is that it didn't go the way you scripted it. It's not bad. And it doesn't mean that all of a sudden you're rude and don't have manners because it didn't go according to your plan. That is something I say to people all the time. It's okay that he or she didn't text you, in the window that you had hoped. It doesn't mean it's done. It just means, we have to pivot, and that's okay.
That's true. So what is something you'd like for people to take away from their time in working with you?
Less is more. Always. I always tell my clients, invest less in the process, have more balls in the air. If they are not meeting you halfway, they're not your person. Okay. The person who isn't showing up for dates, the person who's showing up late, the person who, you confirm a video chat with them. Okay, talk at 7, can't wait. And then, it's 7:15 and they're like, oh, sorry, I was doing laundry. That's not really a thoughtful, considerate human being. Or I give the COVID example a lot lately. I'll tell a lot of, especially my younger female clients, they'll offer a video chat and the person will say, oh, well, I'd really rather meet in person. Well, okay, they just didn't hear you that you have some concerns about safety with COVID and you don't want an extra layer or level of risk. And they didn't respect that was a concern for you. They are finished. Sort of boundaries around dating. It takes two people, and it's sort of like a friendship with anyone. It has to work, and both people have to make an effort to meet the other's needs.
Wonderful. And we're going to come right back with Meredith Golden. So excited.
I'm excited to announce the first application of its kind. We've launched Money for Likes on iOS and Google Play. This app will allow all content creators, artists, videographers, and digital artists, just to name a few, to post their content and receive likes. We call money likes. Likes that are monetized. That's right, content creators will receive money transferable to their bank account, PayPal, and Venmo. Download the app, make a $10 in-app purchase. You'll receive 1,000 money likes to give your favorite content creator and post your content and receive likes that matter. Download the app today on iOS or Google Play.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Yarnell, board-certified traditional naturopath, and in today's 60-second health hack, let's talk about so-called natural flavors. There's a huge loophole in our labeling laws that allows companies to group together a bunch of secret chemicals and call them, quote, natural flavors. Food and drink companies like to use these chemicals because they have a long shelf life and produce a standard taste across the product. They don't have to disclose what these flavors are actually made from, but you can bet they are not created from real foods or plants. You may have thought you were making a healthy choice by drinking something containing natural flavors, but these chemicals may in fact be contributing to your own health issues. When I have natural flavors, my eyelids begin to peel. That's a bit extreme, but if you've been struggling to get healthier, avoiding chemicals like these in natural flavors may help. Your best bet is to always choose products that contain real ingredients and not natural flavors.
Would you like to find balance between your personal power and harmonious relationships? How would it feel if you can exert your will in partnership without exerting too much authority and finding an effective balance that works? A chakra recharge can help you do just that. Whether it's before a first date, an existing relationship, or a work relationship that needs an infusion of positive energy, visit KellyRayCoaching.com. Kelly, Kellie, Ray, Rae, coaching.com. Just click contact on the website to schedule this $25 mini distant Reiki session with Reiki Master Kelly Ray for a better you.
So we are back, and we're talking with Meredith Golden at the moment. She's an NYU master's degree of social work and psychotherapist turned dating expert. There's something about mental health going on with dating. It's kind of interesting. It's a lot more fun, which is one thing that's really great about it. And I want to tell you about a company called Alpha Not Marketing. AlphaNotMarketing.com is a great company, and they actually promote hypnotherapists like Marissa Peer. Well, not Marissa Peer, but like Marissa Peer. And they help them to really get incoming clients and people to work with. And they're fantastic. They're all over the country, and they specialize in only taking one practitioner per major city. So that's really good. So that's Alpha, not KNOT, marketing.com. And we are back with Meredith Golden. Yay! Hi, Meredith.
Hi.
So what was the most fun of, because I know I have my favorites, and what was the most fun part of doing all the media? Because it is fun. I mean, it's a lot of fun.
Oh, goodness. You know, it's so funny. First of all, I'm always thankful for any media opportunity. I obviously love talking about dating, and I love, talking about professionally what I do. It's a huge part of my identity. I get to meet really interesting people on the client side of things. I tend to love my clients, and just really interesting, smart, fun people. And then the press piece, it's nice to be able to go here. I obviously don't get to go anywhere anymore. But I do have friends in LA. So when I get to go to LA, I get to see friends, which is always nice to spend quality time with people who I love and don't get to see as often as I like. But again, just sort of like anything else in life, something new, another interesting experience, meeting new people.
Yeah, I love meeting the new people that you meet in media. It's a lot of fun.
It's fun. And, I get to talk about what I do, and I love it. So that's always a positive for me.
And we love hearing it. So is there anything that you'd like to just get out there? I know you have spoonmeetspoon.com, and you have Dharma Dating. I love that name.
Yep, it's new. It's brand spanking new.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you'd like to get out there before we wrap?
To, tell people that more about dating, and, there will be life after COVID. Things will get better. Things will get easier. Things will, not be this stressful. and very much, supply and demand in dating. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. It just makes you more attractive. It's sort of like if you're, interviewing for a job and someone tells you that there's 4 other candidates you're looking at, suddenly like your ears perk up and the job becomes that much more desirable. Apply that theory to dating. It will work in your favor.
Well, great. Meredith Golden, thank you so much for being with us here on Dr. Tranquility Talks, Conscious Dating and Relationships. It was amazing to have you.
Thank you so much for having me.
So honored and blessed. And look for her at spoonmeetspoon.com and dharmadating.com.
Thank you.
And we are going to be right back. We're just going to come back with Camille Hayes and 212 Connections. We'll be right back in just a second. Stay tuned.
Hi, I am Dr. Tranquility for Lifted Infused Teas. That is at LFTD Infused Teas, found on Facebook and Instagram. Lifted Infused Teas are amazing. They are created with premium alcohol and cannabis, so you don't have that groggy, hungover feeling the next day. You know what I'm talking about. They come in an array of exotic flavors. 6 with premium alcohol and 6 alcohol-free. Among my favorites are the mango peach and one that was created with me in mind, Tranquility. That is at LFTD Infused Teas on Facebook and Instagram. I've got my Tranquilities. Have you got yours?
I just breathe it. Oh.
I love Unrequited Love Affair by Tasha. And we are back now with Camille Hayes and Tito Hayes of
How are you?
I am doing really well. How are you doing, darling?
We're doing great. We're just snuggled in today. It's super cold. I was out playing in the snow last week, but now I'm over it. What about you?
I was running around a bit earlier today, but it's just so dark and snowy. It's such good. Stay at home with a big cup of coffee or tea or hot chocolate or cuddle.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, I was thinking about today's segment, and it's going to be Valentine's Day, so I wanted to lighten the mood because, I mean, who cares at the end of the day about Valentine's Day? You know, it's just all these society pressures and everybody just wants you to think a certain way. But I ended up having a non-conventional last Valentine's Day, which probed me to think about this segment. So I had this one date, the only one that survived online dating for me, and he's just a character. So we had been kind of on and off again based on like each other's just crazy work schedules. And so when we had gotten back together for a really long time, we were just like, well, how's your dating life been? And he told me the most hilarious dating story that I just wanted to share with everybody.
I'm going to do the whole screen so that you can share. Hold on.
Yes. So whenever my friend was getting off work, it was kind of late. He was really pushing it, and he was rolling up to his date at the bar. And whenever they had they sat down, they had a drink, everything was going really lovely. And so he had just excused himself momentarily to get up and use the restroom and check an email. So while my friend was using the urinal, obviously this was a male friend, and when he was checking his email, he had not properly undone his pants. So there was a quite amount of stainage. So in that situation, there was just complete panic and embarrassment. And I know we all have those embarrassing dating stories. But I was very happy for my friend. He really pulled it off though. He's very smart. And he had untaken his shirt and then rocked his like undershirt with his jacket, and then tied his little shirt around to cover it up by.
That sounds great.
How brilliant.
Well, no
wonder he
It's brilliant. It is.
Yeah, is that not brilliant? I was just, when he told me his dating story, I had nothing to compare. I have one other hilarious dating story, but can you interject with one?
I have a few, but I want to hear your second one.
Yeah, okay, so my second one is actually about myself, and it was such a great night, regardless. But we were all kind of going out after I had just gotten off bartending a couple years ago, and met up with my friends and my crush. So we had been like maybe on one or two dates. So we were all out. It was a summertime, and everybody's having fun, and we're dancing, and then two of the girls do cartwheels down the sidewalk, and I've done a million cartwheels in my life, but that night after bartending and dancing, my arms just gave out and my head just crashed into the sidewalk on Spring Street of Soho. So it was just
Prime time.
it was like when they're playing football and everyone claps, like whenever, you know, they don't know if he's going to make it up or not, and everyone's got a knee. And there was just like a moment where they're like, please God, I hope she's okay.
I love it. That's so funny. We love hearing your stories and following you
Yes.
around.
Well, I'm happy to share.
Where can everyone find you?
So find me on Instagram under HYSCAMILLE, and I'll be up with my personal website here in the next few weeks.
Great. Thanks for joining us today, sweetie.
Yes. Yeah,
Bye.
I hope everything's well. Bye.
Bye. And we will be right back with Kairi Jeffries of Rawtrition.
Heard they wanna stop the party. Well, tell her we gon' party. Few shots got her horny. The way that she move got me on it. They ain't stopping no party. She rockin' that body. They ain't stopping no party. Shot, we gon' double shot it. Couldn't wait to get next to you. And I can't let this moment lose. They ain't crashing no party, not before we get naughty. We could dance all night, yeah. Make love through the morning. Hennessy, making night of memories. Know you feeling me, I can feel your energy. Had to pull up to this empty seat. Introduce the lingo, the spicy shit
Okay, and we are back. And we're so excited, honored, and blessed because we are coming into a beautiful segment with amazing mad scientist buddy of mine. He founded a company called DrTranquility, and he puts out some of the best products. I mean, we're going to get into it, so I don't want to tell you all now. You're going to have to wait. So coming up right now, without further ado, is Kairi Jeffries.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing fabulous. It was a wonderful day in the vortex.
Oh, that's great.
So
Great to hear. Enjoying your snow and everything up there, I guess.
You know what? It's such good fireplace and cuddle weather and just nurture weather.
Yeah.
In terms of food and everything, that it's just so great. I actually like it. I mean, it gets a bit old, but
Yeah.
I actually like it. How are you doing down in Florida?
I am doing fantastic. Enjoying a great day. You know, had my little beach time today and, you know, exercising, working a little bit. And it's a great day. I love it here.
Good. Well, tell us all about Rawtrition because I want to hear about these products. And I know you have 3 primary ones now.
Yes, now actually 4. But yeah, a new one just launched about a month ago or so. But Rawtrition is a product line. It's a nutrition supplement line where you get your nutrients from whole foods and roots. So there are no synthetic isolates. There are no fillers. It's just the most powerful whole foods and roots. And it's primarily based with microalgae. And I use a blend of 4 different microalgae along with some very incredible superfoods. And they just make an incredible supplement. You know, starting with the first one, which was the original Rawtrition Bioenergy, which is the most perfect all-in-one supplement. You know, gives you incredible energy, but not the jitters and not the crash. You feel, it's kind of like taking off in an airplane. You kind of get that nice swift boost up in the air and it's nice and easy and you just kind of stay there all day long. So, you know, it improves your mood, improves your focus, and you just end up having a great time all day instead of nagging.
Yeah.
Nagging all the time. So that's where everything started.
Cool. And then you moved from there on to?
Well, then after that, I wanted to target.
Interject. Guys, we're telling you about this because these are good products for you to take for stamina in your dating process, to keep yourself awake. That's why we're getting into this. Okay, go ahead, Kairi.
Okay, well, one of the responses I got from Rawtrition, actually not just one, but many, was several people that started taking it. They noticed that their stamina had come back, and they really noticed that there was a big improvement in the bedroom. And it was kind of hilarious when I would get those testimonials, and I would be like, "Oh, okay, that's great," and it kind of went on from there. So it's like a very healthy way of revitalizing yourself to get back to your old self, to get back to your younger self, which is great when you're dating, because the worst thing is to be dating someone and things get like intimate and you're just not in the mood. And or your partner's not in the mood. and that's where the bioenergy came in. But now I just released a product called Stembedo.
I love Stembedo. I love saying the name.
Stembedo. And it is phenomenal because it really targets the area to awaken your stamina. Your cells are rejuvenated, and it balances your hormones. So you're not holding on to all that stress that you used to have. And it naturally does it for both men and women, which I think is the most amazing part, because it's not just something just for the guy or something just for the girl. You have something that everyone takes, and you're good to go all day long. And I think that's the best part about it, is no matter what happens during the day, when that time comes, you're going to be ready.
That sounds great. And the last thing that you have is called?
Well, I do.
Focus. Well, no.
Yes, Fire Focus. Well, Fire Focus is one of the last ones that I came out with, which was, it was a spinoff of Rawtrition, where it gives you a lot of energy and focus, but it's geared more towards your mental clarity. And when you take it, not only does it taste good, but it actually works really well with getting you into the right mindset to where you can tackle your day and you just take things, more at ease. You're not so stressed out, and you're more focused on projects instead of freaking out when you have too much to do. And that, I think, especially people that are challenged in, with health issues, a lot of people have trouble staying focused. And the greatest thing about Fire Focus is it keeps you focused, it keeps you clear, and you just end up getting a lot more accomplished and feeling a lot better about yourself, which is the most important thing ever.
That's great. Well, we're so excited that you came by to share these products with us, and I know you're going to hang out with us. Of
course, yeah. Well, you can definitely check out the products online.
Yes, tell us where they can find them now, and you'll tell us again later.
Sure. You can find them now at Rawtrition, RAWTRITION.US. And you can also find them on Amazon and on Walmart.com. And there's a few others, but the main, it's available on Walmart.com. So you can find it there. Yeah. Yeah.
That's fantastic, huh?
Yes, but Walmart.com only has the Rawtrition. They have the bioenergy for the Stembedo and the Fire Focus and the Bio Ease, which is great for your joint relief and inflammation issues. That can all be found with lots of information about it and lots of testimonials, which I think is great. That's going to be on rawtrition.us.
And you're also on Instagram.
Oh, yes, I'm on Instagram, which is Rawtrition USA on Instagram. And on Facebook, we are Rawtrition USA as well.
Okay, cool. Well, we're going to see you in a few minutes.
Yeah, sounds great.
See you soon. And we are going to be right back with Ms. LFTD Lifted infused teas and lifted teas. She has an amazing line. I'm bringing these people to you because these are things that you can take to feel better and to aid you in your dating and mating processes. So, infused tea is a wonderful blend of teas, herbs, ingredients, flavors, natural teas, with cannabis and premium alcohol or without alcohol, which, as many of you know, I don't drink. So I love her non-alcoholic line. She has one called Tranquility that will knock you out. In fact, I'm due to order it. I was going to bring it on the show and realized I finished it. So I'm going to have to get some more. You have to get some too. You can check her out at LFTD Lifted Teas. I'm going to let her give it to you on Instagram. And we are going to be right back. And we'll see you in a sec. Hi, I am Dr. Tranquility for Lifted Infused Teas. That is at LFTD Infused Teas, found on Facebook and Instagram. Lifted Infused Teas are amazing. They are created with premium alcohol and cannabis, so you don't have that groggy, hungover feeling the next day. You know what I'm talking about. They come in an array of exotic flavors, 6 with premium alcohol and 6 alcohol-free. Among my favorites are the mango peach and one that was created with me in mind, Tranquility. That is at LFTD Infused Teas on Facebook and Instagram. I've got my Tranquility. Have you got yours? Okay.
Heard they wanna stop the party. Well, tell her we gon' party. Few shots got her horny. The way that she move got me horny. They ain't stopping no party. She rockin' that body. They ain't stopping no party. Shot, we go double shot it. Couldn't wait to get next to you. And I can't let this moment lose. They ain't crashing no party, not before we get naughty. We could dance all night, yeah. Make love through the morning. Hennessy, making night of memories. Know you feeling me, I can feel your energy. Had to pull.
Okay, now, just a couple of things I want to tell you about. Alpha Knot, KNOT marketing.com is a great site. If you're, as many of you know, I'm a hypnotic anesthesiologist and we do use a bit of hypnosis in the protocol, not much, it's mainly mind-body medicine, but you can find in date therapy. They are specialists in marketing hypnotherapists and hypnotists. So they really are great at giving you clients that you can work with. And also, I want to tell you about a friend of mine, Abby Gooch, who is having an amazing retreat. And you can find out all about her retreat, which supports an orphan. It's just incredible. You can find out all about her retreat at oneheartglobal.co. That's oneheartglobal.co. And we are now back with Taz, the lady tumor, who creates LFTD infused teas, and she is a friend of the show, and we just love her tea. I'm a glutton. I'm gluttonous every time it's around. So, hey, Taz, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me?
I can hear you beautifully. So I noticed that you've got some new flavors going on, like vanilla chai and a ginger tea, pumpkin spice. Tell us what you're doing, girl, whipping up in your mad kitchen.
Well, and during the holidays, I like to kind of cater to like those hot drinks that you normally like to go get in the morning. So I created a line of a tea line. Instead of coffee, I use tea instead, call them lattes, and I just mimic certain flavors that you would normally drink coffee with. So I narrowed it down to a apple cider. It's like a spiced apple cider. One was a vanilla chai. That's a lot of favorites. And a ginger coquiti is the big seller.
Now
So
tell
and
me
that
the coquiti.
so the ginger coquiti is inspired by the Puerto Rican recipe
Coquito.
of how you make coquito. But
Mhm.
instead of using like egg, because I don't always do dairy. I have like a sensitivity. So I'd rather, if I can use a substitute and just not have a problem later, I'd rather do that. And when I started making them vegan, I noticed a lot of other people had that same issue. Like, oh, I can't even do coquito during the holidays. And I was like, okay, so I did a vegan version, and it's sold very wonderfully. and
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
and it's it's ginger based. So the part of the process, it actually takes about 3 hours to really batch enough coquito.
Right.
um, it is three different processes. Even making the vegan coconut cream is a process because it's hard to find. So I have to make it from scratch. And so everything, even though it can go concurrently, it's still a long, drawn out process, but it tastes so good. So I'd rather do it the same way every time. So it keeps my
That's
customers coming
great. That sounds
back.
awesome. So tell us more because you have such an interesting way of creating your brand, and I love it, and I think more people need to know about it. So you started from scratch, right? And now you're this tea monger.
You know what? Sometimes it's good to start at a blank canvas and just kind of create from your own imagination how you want it to go. And tea, it kind of has that same concept. Like, you don't think tea is going to taste good because it's no sugar, but if you steep it right, and you can enjoy the flavors if you do it properly, if you infuse the right fruits, and it can be so healthy, very low calorie. So it's like, and it's a perfect medium for so many other things that you may want to infuse in the tea.
Yeah.
The next step is doing tonics and bitters and things like that, because a lot of times you might just want to drink just enough just to get your food down. And I like beer, but beer, it puts on pounds on the stomach, and, and
Yeah.
and women can't have that. So
Yeah.
you have to take your time with that. So I find that with tea and the right elements in tea, like they have different detox teas and stuff like that, it always keeps you in shape, but it also keeps the food down. Um, Adding just a tad bit of alcohol, not a lot, a tad bit, just enough to burn certain toxins in the body, certain bacteria in the body, is what they usually call like a digestif, or I might be saying it wrong. Don't a digestif, but
I see gesture. Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
it helps. It helps.
Like
We're getting.
control.
I'm older and getting older, and I'm like, oh, I can't. I'm knocking food off the list every year. I'm like, oh, that I can't do that anymore. So just finding different ways to use tea as a medium to help and aid. Just a better
Wonderful.
option. You know,
That's
I'm
wonderful.
always working. I'm always working.
You are, girl. You are always working. Well, I'm so excited you could stop by. What's your
Yes, yes, it's
favorite
always a pleasure.
remote?
I'm always promoting the honey. I find that this is my favorite product.
This
This is
honey's
actually
fun.
going out to you. This is going
Is
out to
it?
you. Yes, it is.
Ah, I love my honey.
And I sound like it's so multi-purpose. You can literally put it in a liquid or just eat it by itself
It's
or
just
eat it on top of
fantastic.
food.
It's phenomenal.
And
I
and
rolled it in fruit. I
oh
shouldn't be
my God,
eating fruit because I put some weight on during this COVID.
we all
But
do.
I,
Healthy weight.
thin sliced dessert. So it's like just one big piece. And
Yes,
I dip it in the honey, and
right.
it's
And
amazing.
you control the portions, because sometimes people are scared at how much to use. As long as you
Well,
know how much is in
it'll catch up
how
with
much is
you
in your batch.
if you forget. One night I forgot, and I just kept going because I was hungry, and I just kept like dunk, dunk, dunk. I'm like, wow, I ate like a third of the jar,
And then it was like, woo.
Well, welcome back. How was your journey?
It was a beautiful trip. It was a
Yeah.
beautiful trip. I need not to do that one again. So, I was seeing flowers and on walls and all sorts of beautiful. I was in heaven now. I was like so happy. But I have to say, because your products taste so good that they're
like
just so incredible to use and to have. And we're just so
appreciate
honored
that.
and blessed that you are making them, girl. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Right now, you can primarily find me on Instagram. I'm at LFTD_infused tea. I'm also on Facebook. Just put in lifted infused tea and it'll pop right up.
And we have it below. So it's underneath so everyone can see it as you're speaking. All right, cool. Well, thank you for stopping by. We'll see you next month, I guess.
Yes,
And
yes.
I'm going to be getting some products. Thank you for honey.
Yes, no problem.
I love her products. I have to tell you, this is part of the reason I'm like, I will just take a straw to her honey and go and add a little tea in because it's so good. And she is gone already. And we have up next is Dr. Brian Rapetsky, and we're going to have a quick meet with Dr. Brian today. But we're going to get him in here. And okay, I did it again. Rizapesky. He's going to say his last name. I do this all the time. He probably thinks that he has a theory about this. He's our resident psychologist and sexologist, and we just are so excited to bring him to you. Hello, Dr. Brian.
Hi, how are you?
We are doing really well. How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
And we're talking love bites. So what kind of bite you got today?
All right. Well, welcome to another edition of Love Bites, everybody. Well, today what I thought I would talk a little bit about is just ways to deepen connection and intimacy with our partners. So whether you're with a new dating partner or in a long-term relationship, there's a lot of different ways that you can, deepen that. But one way that I'd really like to talk about today is love languages. Now, love languages is kind of a popular concept that has been originated by Dr. Gary Chapman, and he is a marriage counselor who did some clinical research and came to discover that there are 5 different categories for the kind of needs that people have in terms of how they feel the most loved. So there's, he kind of studied different ways that people give and receive love. And so one of the ways, the simplest and quickest ways to help deepen connection is to try to work on helping to meet our partner's love languages. And so there are 5 different love languages that exist. One is words of affirmation. And words of affirmation are, those types are people who really like to, communicate. They like it when their partner carves out time and space just to talk with them. And it's really about the intent behind it. So there's a lot of, positive strokes, compliments, a lot of demonstration of empathy and validation during communication. Those people feel the most loved when, the partner shares a lot of things that they love about you, your appreciations, what they're proud of about you. So that's the first type. The second types are quality time. And quality time are people feel the most loved when their partner carves out time and space just to be with them unconditionally, no strings attached, just to be with them. And the emphasis there is on just the undivided attention and to be fully present with you. Third, gifts. These people, and it's not a materialistic thing, but these people, these types like it when their partner gives them little, trinkets, little gifts, and it's really packs a punch when the partner really thinks of who they are as a person. So again, it's not materialistic, but it's more of the sentimental value behind it. So it makes the person feel really, known and seen when their partner gives them something that just really resonates with who they are as a person. So, candy and flowers, it's nice, but if it's something that really connects with who they are, that's the way you want to go. Especially with Valentine's Day coming up, people. Another thing, another type, number 4, is acts of service. In acts of service, these people love it when their partners just do random acts of kindness, no strings attached, just because. So for example, wow, thanks for getting my car washed, or wow, thank you for doing the dishes without being asked. And that's the key. Acts of service really pack a punch when they are done spontaneously and when they're done just, without being asked. And then the last love language is called physical touch. And these are the people that really appreciate affection, and it can be non-sexual and it can also be sexual affection. So those are the 5 love languages that exist out there. Everybody has, yes. Mine is physical touch. I'm a sexologist.
That makes perfect sense. So Dr. Brian, tell everyone where they can find you.
You can find me at brian@personalvictorycounseling.com and at thegaylovecoach.com.
Fantastic. We'll see you in 2 weeks, Brian.
Sounds great. Thank you. Happy Valentine's Day.
Brian. And that was quite a show we had today. Isn't Dr. Brian amazing? I just love him. He's so unassuming, and he's so sweet, and he's so creative. And he's a serious practitioner. A lot of credentials under his belt. So, if you have a chance to go to thegaylovecoach.com or visit any of his other sites. And he is a therapist as well. He's a psychologist. So check him out. And we are back with Kairi. Kairi and I are just going to say goodbye tonight. Hey, man. How you doing?
I'm good.
It's lovely having you on the show. I have one last guest. It's real quick. One last question. It's real quick.
Sure.
Very fast. If you're taking one product and you're going to be seeing a lover, which one would you take?
If you're taking one product, I would take, if you have a problem, I would take Stembito. If you don't, I would take bioenergy, because it's going to give you a little bit of that anyway.
Okay, cool.
But if you definitely have like an issue with stress and getting in the mood, definitely Stembito. You would love it to death. It is your pathway to a good night and a good time and a good relationship.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we are going to hopefully see you back soon.
Sounds
and we were talking about Abby and a retreat. That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And Abby's a good friend of both of ours.
Yes, she is. She's a sweetheart. Sweetheart.
She's doing this for kids. So get on over to One Heart Global and check her out. Also check out Kairi. Give us again all your locations, man.
Again, I am on Instagram at Rawtrition USA, and the products are also sold on Amazon.com and Walmart.com.
I'm so proud of you.
But you can get all of them at rawtrition.us, and it has lots of testimonials and lots of information. And definitely try out the new Stembito. It's a great one. Stembito. And thank you so much for having me. It's
been fun to have you. You have to come back.
I would definitely try to come back. I would definitely come back.
I was going to say, try and it's lying. So.
I know. No, I would definitely be back. It would be my pleasure.
Mental health expert here, so that's so good. No, you're great. And we love having you, and we will see you soon. Okay, love?
Okay, great.
Thank you. And that was Kairi Jeffries. He's amazing, isn't he? I mean, he actually creates this. These people that I'm bringing to you create these products that support you in your dating and relationship process. Let's put it that way. And it's been so great. We had Meredith Golden on, who's a wonderful expert, so in the know. And check out Spoon Meets Spoon. Check me out. I always forget myself. Check me out at DrTranquility.com or doctorspelledout.com. You will also find me on Facebook at Dr. Tranquility Lydia, and at Date Therapy, on Instagram at Dr. Tranquility Lydia and at Date Therapy. You can find us on YouTube, Dr. Tranquility Lydia, xpr.com, which is where the show initially plays, and then it moves over to the audio version and goes into syndication out to
13 major cities and 2 million people. So feel free to look up Satori, SATORIXPR.com, and click talk show, and you're going to find all this stuff out there. And it was great having you with us tonight. We love you. Take care and have a good week.
Yeah. Heard they wanna